Mansfield today on a Saturday. You crack me up sometimes.
No, it's not hard.
We were just talking before we came to air about the Great Trek,
Oh.
which is happening again. It's sort of, you know what it is like to me? Because all the schools are broken up now and everyone's getting ready. People who are going away on holiday are getting ready to go away on holiday.
And some of you have already left.
Yeah, but it's a bit like, I don't know about your childhood, but my childhood, because in those days, we couldn't really go anywhere else other than South Africa.
Oh yeah, but not just that. So my father had this thing about the South Coast. Absolutely loved the what was then the Natal South Coast.
Yes.
And so we would plan for this holiday for months.
Yeah.
And the night before, my father would pack.
Yeah.
And God help you if you didn't have all your clothes in my parents' bedroom in neat piles.
Yeah.
And we got the lecture, if you don't have it here, you're not getting it. Because bear in mind, back then, the South Coast was almost rural.
Yeah.
And you couldn't go to a shop and get a cosy.
No.
But he wouldn't have anyway as a point of reference. But for me, I think the trauma of the car journey, I had to spend recovering the rest of the trip. So we would pack everything the night before. Then my father was one of those people who liked to leave early. We must have a proper breakfast, but then we must leave early.
Okay.
So off we would go. And there were no Shell Ultras back then or Engens or anything like that. So, but there were garages where you could have a wee.
Yes, no, there were.
Yeah. And there was the
filling stations.
Yes, and there was the Berg River stop, which only had, I think, a wimpy, but we were never allowed to stop there. No. We had to stop on the side of the road, and we had to have...
Where you had the concrete round table and the concrete stools and the big concrete bin.
Correct. Yes. And we would stop there, and my mother would unpack the food, and it was always the same food.
And there was always a dishcloth to go on top of the
no,
table.
of course, because
the birds poo on it.
Those bad birds.
Yes.
No, you don't know.
Look at all these fields they can poo in.
We don't know who's had this last. We don't know where this has been. No, it's been here. It has not moved. So my mother
been
would
here for years since the National Party built it.
Probably still there, some of it.
Eastern Cape's got some great little stops like that still to this day.
Really?
Yes,
I don't see them anymore.
Yeah, between Port Elizabeth and Port Alfred.
Maybe because nobody even wants to go there. Anyway, so my mother would unpack the cold sausages,
Ew.
cold ham,
Ew.
bread and butter,
Ew.
and my favorite, and she would open the Tupperware, hard-boiled eggs.
Oh my God, can you, oh no, I can just imagine the smell that comes out of that Tupperware.
Every time I smell sulfur, I am taken back. And it's not nostalgia. I get a flashback to those rest stops. And because we were never allowed to stop anywhere that had a toilet, you had to wee on the side of the road, which is much easier as a boy than it is as a girl.
Yeah.
So then we would get down, and we'd always have, and there was only one road. So the toll hadn't been, put in yet. So you had to go on this long, winding road. So it was nearly 7 hours to Durban.
Yeah.
Because there was no choice.
Oh, please, Daddy.
So we get to Durban, and us kids would like look longingly out the window. So we went, could see the sea, but we weren't going there. No. We were going to that throbbing cosmopolitan hub of Margate because there was a Checkers there. And my mother would leave all three of us in the car so she and my father could go and do the shopping. Yeah. Now, I want you to picture this. It's 3 kids, all of whom have been kept pacified throughout the entire journey by my mother throwing beacon sparkles back into the back of the car. And she would also get those ready the night before because there was only a few black ones, and everyone liked the black ones the most. And then the red ones, and nobody liked the orange ones or the green ones, however much we trained ourselves to try. And also there was at least one terribly unhappy child who'd had to sit on the hemorrhoid seat the entire time.
I remember that hemorrhoid seat.
Yeah.
I used to have to sit on that. But I was lucky, I thought.
Yes.
I realize now why it was done in that manner. But you're talking about the middle seat. Because
you had the 2 comfy seats and then this kind of hump.
Yeah. And it was a bit arched like that because of because in fact it was an armrest.
Exactly, it was supposed to be an armrest.
Now I used to, because I was the youngest, I was the one who had to sit on the armrest. And everyone was jealous of me because I got to sit in the armrest. But I think my parents were trying to get rid of me. Because, I mean, you think about it. There you are, sitting in the armrest going, oh, I can see all the way through here between Mummy and Daddy. Not thinking if Daddy suddenly slams on brakes, I'm going straight through that windscreen. I'll be the one splattered on the
side.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no. So when I was young, my brothers were younger than me, so I was obviously the tallest and the biggest, so I never had to sit on the hemorrhoid seat, but they got bigger.
Okay.
And then the war would start.
Yeah.
So I tried to use the I'm a girl, and it's very uncomfortable.
No, that doesn't work.
It worked for one trip because I cried and threatened to throw up. No one wants puke in the car. But I digress. So we go back to Checkers.
Let's go back to Checkers in Margate.
So there's three of us sitting in this car.
Yes.
Which I believe, I stand to be corrected, but I believe it was an Opel Monza.
Okay.
So it wasn't really big. And my parents were going to Checkers for what felt like a long, long, long time.
It probably was.
And there we are in Margate.
Probably trying to get rid of you as well.
In the height of summer, yes. You know, nowadays you'd never leave anything in the car in case of kidnapping. Back then they were like, oh, leave the doors open. Except they didn't. They would lock us in. And we'd have the window open just a crack. And if the SPCA had come there and we'd been a dachshund, my parents would have been arrested.
Yes, exactly.
And we would sit there in this car, baking in the humidity of Margate. And my parents would come back with that. Remember, Checkers used to have those yellow packets?
Yes.
So you just see these yellow packets walking down the street. And then, because it was quite a small car, we would have to sit on the shopping. So, has we'd all been sitting like this was fine. But now, like, you had your leg round the potatoes, you know, and somebody always got stuck with the cold chicken, you know, because my mother would buy frozen chicken, because God forbid we should not have a frozen chicken wherever we go. But the worst part of the whole trip was we would get down to Leisure Bay, because that's where we went. And now it's beautiful. But back then there was nothing there except a few like rental houses, which when you're a little kid is horrible, because you don't want peace and quiet as a little kid. You want fun.
Yes.
So we would rent this particular unit called Snuggle Pot.
Snuggle Pot.
Yes. Anything less snuggly, I cannot imagine. And it was exactly as you would imagine it to be, smelling of sand and sadness. And vast quantities of those Reader's Digest books.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
compendiums.
The abridged version.
There we go. And we could see the sea.
Read Wilbur Smith in a half an hour.
And then somebody would give you the book and you go, no, and it's this thick. And someone would give you the actual book like that. No, that's a different Wilbur Smith.
I haven't read that one.
I haven't read that one.
This one you lent me because it's so slow. What I read was just pooh.
You know what? Probably because I was on holiday and I was enjoying it more and just flew. So we could see the sea from Snugglepot. We could see it.
Right.
But we couldn't go there.
Why?
Because we had to do the inventory.
So
you pick up the keys from this little kind of, I think it was in Glenmore Beach. And you had to get the keys from Glenmore and go through to Leisure Bay. And then they would give you this large piece of paper that somebody had signed at least 50 times, because like you were the last square on the edge. It was practically moist. And you had to tick off how many forks are in the drawer. 6. Oh, there's meant to be 8. Just check the other divisions. Okay, there's 8. Are there 8? Because you know we'll have to pay for those forks. And my father would appear from there. That's coming out of your pocket money. Fine, there's only 6. And we would do the inventory, and then we'd say, shall we go to the beach just for a minute? No, because we haven't prepared for the beach. So then we had to have dinner, and my mother by then would have defrosted the chicken, and that would be. And then we would all sit round the radio, the English service, and listen to whatever serial was on at 7:30, and then the boys and I would go to bed and wish we were dead. But to this day, I have not, since I became an adult and got a driver's license, I have never gone down the South Coast again. I cannot get past Margate Checkers.
Because of the trauma.
Because of the trauma of Margate Checkers. Sorry, Checkers. And so I cannot. So I'm sure it's lovely further down the coast. I really am. I've heard lovely things. Lots of people go down the South Coast. Oh, yeah, the KwaZulu-Natal South Coast is gorgeous. I'm like, Checkers Margate.
Yeah, I've never been a South Coast. I've actually never been an East Coast boy at all. I've never really. I think it's the humidity. I don't like wet heat and wet cold. I can do dry heat and dry cold, but wet I don't. So the East Coast has never really appealed to me.
Yeah, for me it's
much.
Checkers Margate. I've done Ballito. I've enjoyed that. Sheffield Beach.
Right.
Even Umhlanga, but
Margate.
Margate I can't.
Checkers Margate.
Checkers Margate. No.
Checkers Margate. Checkers Margate.
Do you have a joke? Stop traumatizing me. Give me flashbacks.
Okay, we're talking about travelling.
Yes.
Because we can't travel overseas.
No. They don't want us anymore.
It's fine, then they're not going to get us. I'm actually quite happy about that because it means that a lot more South Africans are going to be travelling in Southern Africa.
Yeah, and if I was a South African tourism venue now, I would be opening up and saying, right, these are how many beds we've got now.
Yeah.
Come get them at South African rates.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sam says having never run a tourism establishment in her life. But yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go overseas in our imagination.
All right, let's go.
Let's go to the UK.
No, all right.
Right. There's this bloke called David.
David.
All
right.
And he's, you know the London train system.
Yes, the underground.
Or the broader England train system as well.
All right. Yes, I do.
You do. So there's David.
Yes.
Okay. And he's got a little dog.
Okay.
What are we going to call the dog?
I don't know. David's dog.
I don't know. It's a silly name for a dog, but I mean...
Is a dog allowed on a train?
For
the purpose of the story it is?
It's a working dog.
Oh, is it an emotional support animal?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Because David's very emotional.
And needs support.
As you can hear by my voice.
Well, I can.
Very emotional.
Sounds like he's taken a hippo tranquilizer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So David's little dog, Lucky.
Lucky. Yeah, that's right. Lucky.
Right.
Come on, Lucky. Let's go. Because David is teaching Lucky.
Right.
Just to make some money on the side, if you know what I mean.
What's he teaching him how to do?
Teaching him
Herbalife.
He's teaching him how to play the bugle.
The bugle.
Yeah, not a beagle, a bugle.
Right.
So he's teaching him how to play the bugle.
Right.
And Lucky takes to the bugle like a beagle to a bagel.
Yes.
Okay. As in he does very well.
I gathered that,
Right.
yes.
So there he is, Lucky, and he's playing the bugle beautifully. And he learnt so fast
Yes.
that David actually got Lucky
Yes.
from barking to tooting in about 30 minutes.
Oh, that was horrible. It was utterly horrible.
That's why we're not going on holiday.
Next week is our Christmas show, so you have to do a Christmas joke. I'm giving you a week's notice.
So I've got to wear my Father Christmas outfit then?
Well, that is its own joke, but you needed a Christmas joke. So we finished strong. Because if this was the last joke you ever told, we would not be considered to be finishing strong.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks for joining us, and if you're on your way to the coast, please drive safely and don't eat boiled eggs.
Oh, I know my Christmas joke already.
Okay, hold that thought. Bye.
It's a very good one.
Bye.
No, it is. And you know how I got it? Off of a Christmas card.
Excellent. We can discuss that when the camera stops. Say bye.
It's a very good one.
Bye.
Should I tell it now?
No.
Okay. Spoil sport. Bye.